welcome back to GDM Interviews, where I interview world-class individuals upon their creative journey. Today I have here Rhesa. He is a fashion designer based in Boston, Massachusetts, and I'm so excited for all of us to get to know him a little bit more. So without further ado, Rhesa, hi.
How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, of course. I'm so excited. So who are you? Who is Rhesa?
Who is Rhesa?
Yeah.
Great question. I'm Rhesa. I was born and raised in Dorchester, Mass. I am 23 years old, graduated from Babson College 2 years ago, undergrad for my bachelor's in business, and then I did my master's last year in management. So that's kind of like where I learned how to be able to like run a business essentially. And I'm also CEO, founder of Profit Envoy and Good News is Near, which is also another brand that I have.
Yeah,
So,
wow.
yeah.
That's so awesome. Congratulations.
Absolutely.
A man with many hats. A man with many hats.
Indeed.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about what your dreams were as a child.
Ooh, as a child, so like I wanted to be multiple different things. Like when I was really young, like I wanted to be a police officer. I wanted to be a firefighter. This. When I got a little bit older, I kind of focused to like I kind of want to do basketball. I kind of want to do like football. And then one day I asked my brother, I think I was like 10 or 11. I asked my brother, I said, what's the highest paid job in like the world? And he said, well, in a company standpoint, the CEO. And I said, I'm gonna be a CEO. And I never revisited that conversation for like 6-7 years. And then it wasn't until like I was 17, like I realized like I started really getting into fashion. Like I like thrifting a lot. And a lot of people were like, oh, like I love your fits, stuff like that. And at that point, that was like 2019. Nobody was really creating new brands, at least from scratch. Like if you were a brand, you were a brand. But now everybody and their grandmother has a brand now. So it's a little tough. But around that time, I was like, all right, I think I know what I want to do when it comes to like being a CEO. I think I could be a CEO of a clothing brand. I think I could do really good with it. So that's kind of where I got that from.
Okay, so it was kind of a journey of like, I want to be this, that, and then, as the cards unfolded for you,
Yeah,
it was fashion.
it was fashion.
Awesome. How does it feel to be living that reality?
It feels amazing because like I used to really call it delusion, where it was like I knew like what I was destined to do for all these years. Like when I said I was going to be a CEO, like I literally announced it at like my graduation. Like, hey, listen, guys, I have this clothing brand that I'm gonna make. Y'all gonna see me doing some big things in a couple of years. And I said this in my speech because I was salutatorian, so I was able to give a speech at graduation, and everybody was like, "Oh, yay!" And I'm just like, wait until y'all see. Like I always knew, but yeah, for it to actually happen, like everything happened so fast because it was a slow burner for 4 years. Like I was running this brand, I was doing different things. I was able to grow it a little bit over COVID, but like things kind of like died. I'm not gonna say died, but like it kind of slowed down a little bit. And I was just doing it for 4 years. And it wasn't until like after I graduated, in that 3-month period after I graduated before starting my master's, I was just like, sheesh, like what do I want to do with this business? And I locked myself in my room. I created all these videos. I kind of just studied marketing and tried to figure out how I could get this brand to like touch the masses. And I just mass uploaded so many, and one of them clicked, went viral overnight. And then the next day after that, like we made our first like 10,000 in sales. And I was just like,
wow,
that's insane. Like everything just happened so fast. Wow. And from there, like it's just been crazy milestone after crazy milestone, like celebrities, people who I looked up to buying from the brand, people wearing the brand. More recently doing New York Fashion Week a couple months back, doing Paris Fashion Week the month after. Like everything just happened so fast. And I'm just saying like how everything happened, and like the story that I always tell when I say how I blew up and how I became the brand I am today. Like it really was the time when like the Lord was just like, this is your time. Because for 4 years I was just like praying like, Lord, like I could take having this big brand. And he was just like, nah, like I'm gonna need you to like learn a little bit more how to be able to like run a business. And over time, like I learned a lot. And then from the time that I was ready to actually like take on the reins of running a brand like how it is today, where it's a lot larger, like I knew I was ready. And the thing is, I didn't even like, it wasn't even like a thought like, oh, I think I can do it. Like I could do it. And the Lord was like, yep. And then boom, it was like a switch, literally a switch. I couldn't even tell you like it happened over some time that we blew up like it was a switch. And that's how we,
Wow.
yeah.
I have so many questions to ask about that. So would you say by you going to college and you said you have a degree in marketing?
I have a degree in business and consulting.
Business and consulting. Would you say that helped you a lot?
So I would say it helped me in the standpoint of being analytical on how a business works, like from startup phase to being able to like scale it. Because I had to start like 3 startups for classes in Babson, which I really appreciate about Babson. We're number 2 in the country, by the way, just to let y'all know. But yeah, like we definitely had like an unorthodox class setting sometimes where we just learn how to create a business from scratch and like get super analytical. That definitely helped me out. I would say not all of it was applicable right away. It wasn't until I did my master's program that everything kind of like clicked. I was like, okay, this is how you actually like think outside the box on like products to sell and how to do your marketing and how to even build your team and scale from there. So college did help, but I'll say like 80% of it was really just me like researching on my own, seeing what brands that are successful doing, like talking to all my mentors, like more recently, like one of my biggest mentors is Stuart Weitzman, which is, he has one of the biggest clothing, the biggest shoe brands ever. Like he's just sold to Coach for 700 million. And I'm just like, $700 million? That is like, you are well off. And we talk like literally all the time. Like I say, hey, I want to do this. I want to do that. He's like, do this, but this is how you're going to do it. And
Wait,
I
you
said,
talk to him?
all the time.
Oh!
Yeah. So it's just
What a
like,
flex.
no, that's like the Babson network too. So like, I think the biggest thing that I got from Babson is the network. Like we have big dogs. We have like people who are like moguls in whatever they do, like in finance and accounting and tech, like not so much fashion, but like business owners. Like it's like when I talk to them, I'm able to apply it to business. So yeah.
Wow, that's so awesome. So you really utilize your network, right? And I feel like that's so important to do, is utilize your network, because you know college can be really good for you, but I hear all the time it's more about networking, and that's how you get the opportunities. You can't just go to college, learn, and then expect you to like be successful. It's literally just networking. I love that so much.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And then not even just like with the professors and like people that you meet in certain centers, like you really have to network with your students, because at a college like Babson, like I was meeting people that were touching money and their family touched money that I would never think I would ever even be able to touch. And because I was good friends and I was genuine with them, like they invited me to places, they put me in rooms that I never thought I would, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, one of my good friends right now, his name is Will Biondo. He has a clothing brand called Archive. I had a brand that was larger than his at a point. And he had an influencer, a really large influencer named Kai Cenat. People probably definitely know him, wear his stuff on stream, and he just blew up like overnight, essentially. And because he started blowing up, he started getting invited to all these places where rappers and influencers, like people who you would never believe, like you have access to, like he's having access to, because he's a great clothing brand owner. And he used to invite me to places like he invited me to Complex Con. I went to Vegas, helped sell with his brand, but I was able to market myself. Like I have all these deals with all these people that I wouldn't have been able to do it if I wasn't a genuine person to him. And I didn't even talk to him about business. Like I told him, I'm like, yo, like you have a great brand and you're a great dude. Like let's connect. We'll get lunch sometimes, and then boom, now like we're doing business deals, you know? So it's crazy.
Oh, I love that. That makes me so happy. And that, exactly, like the power of networking, the power of just getting to know people authentically and just all those things. So remind me of your clothing brand's name.
Yes, so my clothing brand's name is Profit Envoy.
Tell me about how you came about that name.
Amazing. So I'll never take copyrights for the name because I started this brand with my like best friend in the whole entire world. His name is George Pena. And in high school, we went to City on Hill Charter School. In my senior year, I was just like, I want to create this brand. He was like, I got you. Give me 2 weeks to think of a name. In 1 week, he came to me in between like a math period. And I was like, he was like, bro, Prophet Envoy. And I said, what are you talking about? He's like, bro, like, listen, like, remember how you said you want to make a Christian brand, but like kind of have it universal? I said, yeah, what's up? He was like, bro, Prophet Envoy stands for Messenger of Good News.
Ooh.
You should like
Ooh.
go with that. And I'm like, bro, like, that's amazing. We got to keep it. When I tell you, so many people, like for the first 3 years of the brand, so many people were like, bro, like make it shorter, like cut out Prophet or whatever too. Like it's too Christian or whatever. I'm like, I believe in this. Like y'all got to, like, I had to double down. Like there were times where I was going to just do Envoy or just have it be Prophet. But I was like, no, like one doesn't work without the other because Messenger of Good News is like a powerful, like mantra, like that could be marketable any type of way. So yeah, like when we came up with that name, I instantly knew. We did our, like we opened our Shopify, like we did all that. I'm just like, bro, like this name like is actually like great and I wouldn't change it for the world. You know, that's like, this like it's really like my baby. Like I can't even describe it any other way, but yeah.
I love that. I love that. That's so amazing. And the fact that you didn't allow other people to twist your vision or implement their own realistic ideas. Like you stuck with it because you held it so strong and you believed in it so much, where it's like, no, this is it. And I feel like the same with me with Galda Mode. Like Galda Mode is all about, you know, fashion, entertainment, but also education within personal development, personal growth. And a lot of people was like, how is that going to work? You know, but it's like, you don't get it because God placed the vision in you for you to only get, you know, and that's the power of just creating something from scratch because it's solely just you. What is one limiting belief that you go through and how did you overcome that belief?
One limiting belief.
Yeah. Or let me rephrase that. What is one limiting belief that you went through or still go through?
Yeah.
And how did you either overcome it or how do you recognize it and beat it?
So I'll say like the one limiting belief that like I've struggled to overcome is that like I deserve to be successful with the Christian band specifically. I feel like I've dealt with I've seen a lot of like Christian brands, at least when I started out, they were not very popular compared to like brands that like Hellstar. Like I'm not throwing any shade to Hellstar or anything like that, but like brands that weren't really pushing that message of like Christianity and the Lord and everything. And for a while, like people having their doubts, like it was rooted in like, bro, like if you want to be successful, how you say it. Cause I always told them, I'm like, we're going to be as big as Nike one day.
Period.
You feel me? But they're like, bro, like, I don't think you can do that with the type of brand that you have. And it's not even me saying like, oh, it's a Christian brand, but it's like, it is me saying that. So the reassurance of that, the reason why the brand blew up, and this is a really quick, funny story. One of my good friends was a YouTuber. He started off with like 200 subscribers when I started with him. And I did some videos for him, cool. And now he's at 100K subscribers, like making a living off of YouTube, all of that. He had a serious conversation with me. He was like, hey man, like he was one of the people who actually told me to change the name. So after we started doing a little bit better, he was like, man, first of all, I'm sorry for telling you to change the name because like now I see the vision. But on top of that, I don't know if I want to like convert to being Muslim, Christian. Like, could you tell me about your relationship with the Lord? And that was like, that whole conversation, it was like a hour-long conversation. We were just driving around talking. And that was the first time I was super real about my relationship with the Lord without any judgment. Because like normally you have your conversations with parents and siblings and family and like you hold back a lot of stuff. But I really wasn't holding back. I was telling them like, hey man, like I'm in college. Like, you know, I've sinned obviously. And, you know, I'm trying to create, you know, that relationship. But sometimes like, I don't know like how that's been, but I'm here for the ride, and I'm kind of like here to, learn more about the Lord and just be connected, because at the end of the day, like none of this matters if I don't have a connection with the Lord. So from that, he was like, bro, like, I'm not gonna lie, man, like you gave me goosebumps with that. And I'm not even religious. I'm just like, what? So literally 2 days after, that was when like we blew up everywhere.
Wow.
And I'm just like, anybody could tell me, bro, like you blew up because of yourself. I'm like, nah, like the Lord was like, yeah, he's ready,
Yeah.
So that was really reassuring, because for 4.5 years, I'm like, all right, I'm pushing this Christian brand. And it wasn't working how I wanted it to and how I thought it would. But when I actually like had that conversation, I'm just like, all right, like I'm willing to like have like a strong relationship with the Lord. Like that was when everything blew up and everything started going crazy, to like us being in the fashion weeks and to us being like public figures. You know what I'm saying? Like it was cool before, like we were known as like TikTok brand or TikTok tapestries and stuff like that. But now we're like, this is a community, like this is Prophet Envoy. Like I recognize this. Like now, like anytime I go to New York and I'm wearing a tapestry, like 10, 15 people always come up to me and be like, bro, I've seen this tapestry. Where'd you get it from? I'm like, believe it or not, this came from me. And that's like a big flex. So it's just like, yeah. So,
Wow.
so just continue to market as a Christian brand and have that universal standpoint that anybody could wear it and they don't have to necessarily be Christian. Like that's like a huge part in me growing as a brand owner.
Oh, I love that. Tell me a little bit about your relationship with God. Like what did you always grow up believing in God? Like how's that?
Yeah. So I was one of those families, probably one of those families that like we probably miss 2 Sundays out of the year. And that's if I'm really sick or we're traveling. But like I'm always in church. We always in church. Like I was always involved somehow, some way, shape or form. And we always had a church family. But, I feel like for a while, and I had this conversation with my mom a while ago about it, but like for a while, I feel like it was very forced. And I didn't really, that's why like, I didn't know how genuine it was for a while. It wasn't until I got to college, COVID year specifically, where it's like, you're literally locked in your room for most of the time during the day. And you could only be outside of your room to like get food or whatever. Like you're not really seeing anything. And I felt very alone, and I felt very overwhelmed with school and this brand, because like I'm trying to grow it at the same time, and it was kind of growing at a steady rate. So I was very overwhelmed, and like, I started praying a lot more. I started listening to sermons, started listening to gospel music a lot more than I was already. And like, that's when the genuinity of my relationship started, and from there, like, I really just try to like let people know, like, when I'm having a problem or if I'm going through a tough time, like I'm not going to look to partying. I'm not going to look to just unconventional, like worldly stuff. Like I'm probably going to always pray about it, because like that works for me. And that has always worked for me, especially like starting in COVID. Like that was when I knew like everything is a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
And then it grew even more when I blew up as many times as we had, so yeah.
I love that. I know in the Bible there's a verse in Matthew 21. It's funny because I went through this for my Bible study. How like the Lord is your cornerstone. It was giving some kind of story, and it's like if He's not in your foundation, if He's not your firm foundation, you can easily fall or things can easily be broken. But with God, it's like there's that firm foundation. So that's so important. And I love how you've implemented Christianity in your brand and sharing that good news, because, it could heal people, it could help people, especially like your friend, and creating that curiosity, even if they don't believe. It's just bringing that in. And that's what it's all about.
That is what it's all about.
Yeah. I love that. So tell me a little bit about Paris Fashion Week. How did you get into that?
So I decided to do a little bit of research on like how I could do New York Fashion Week first, because I kind of wanted to take baby steps, because I already did Boston Fashion Week. I did Mass Fashion Week. So I was like, all right, how do I keep going from there? So in New York fashion, like New York is like our biggest base. Like that's where we get most of our business, customers, followers, all of that. So I'm like, all right, let me do some research. Do I have to do my own show, which will take $50,000 to $70,000? Will it be with a runway company? Will I do a showroom? Like, how do I get connected? So I landed upon some people who like do like have a runway company, and they're based in Atlanta, but like they do shows all around the country. And they wanted to do a New York Fashion Week show, and they said, listen, like, we've seen your designs, we would love you to be part of the show. And I said, oh, like, awesome, like, let me talk about it with the team. Cool. We ended up doing a New York Fashion Week show, and at that point, when we accepted the offer to New York Fashion Week, we blew up the second time. This was like late 2024, so like last year. At that point, like, we're getting a lot of traction. People are buying from the brand, and they see like the designs, they see the traction. Like, we're one of their bigger brands that are participating in the show at that point. And they're like, we're expanding to Paris Fashion Week for the first time ever. Would you like to be part of that? And I said, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I was really stressed. I'm like, how do I even talk to these Parisian companies, or how do I even talk to somebody to be able to start something like that? And yeah, like, that was just another one of those things where networking got you there, because I didn't even apply for Paris Fashion Week. They just told me, they were like, we want you to be like the inaugural class for Paris Fashion Week. And I said, for sure, I would love to be part of it. And, you know, I hired a team. I decided to create some designs specifically for the show. Some samples didn't get to me before the show, unfortunately, but like, that's just like some of the troubles that I have to go through as a brand owner. And essentially, like, Paris Fashion Week was like amazing, because I've been to Paris before, and actually the year before in June, I went to Paris Fashion Week to get inspiration, and I went to see this brand called Artise, and they had their show in a museum. It was like a very marble, like church like setting, and I was like, this is so dope, and I was so inspired because like there were so many big names in there that I didn't even know. And there were so many people there, and all the models were amazing, and the vibe was perfect. I'm like, I want to recreate this for myself, and I know I could do it. And that's kind of like what I decided to recreate with Paris Fashion Week. You know, unbiasedly, I think I had the best brand there in that showcase. There was like 6 other brands, and I love all those brands. All those designers were super cool people. But we definitely showed out. Like, we had different pieces. People loved it. We have great reaction and everything.
Wow, that's so awesome. I love that for
Yeah.
you. We're heading towards the end of the last question. What are some steps a person who wants to be successful in the fashion industry can take to achieve that desire?
Ooh, that's always never an easy question, right? Like, my motto for the past couple months has been, like, I'll never say, yo, chase your dreams. I'll never say, because it's important to chase your dreams. Let me just make that very clear.
Yeah.
Chase your dreams. But when somebody asks me what should they do, I always tell them, take actionable steps to get to where you want. Like, try to find them. I know the actionable steps I took. When I started out the brand, I knew that I had to have the mission first, because if I make a design that doesn't have the mission connected to it, it wouldn't make sense. So I always tell somebody, get the mission first. Like, find yourself, why you're doing it for. Like, it could be very specific. Do you want to do really, really high quality clothing that everybody's going to love? Or do you want to have a message behind your things? And also high quality. When you find the mission, create your first design. When you create your first design, you know, have like a couple of different iterations of it. Ask people what they feel about it. Don't ask them, would you buy it? Like, just ask them what they feel about it. They'll give you an honest. Sometimes I wouldn't even suggest that you ask your friends, because sometimes your friends are going to tell you what you want to hear. I think it's the same thing with music. Like, nobody's going to tell you your music is trash if you're friends with them. But it's just like, try to get opinions from people who will tell you what's up. And from there, create your first sample. When I tell you create your first sample, it's almost the same as when you give birth to a child. Like, it's actually happening. You have something tangible where it's like, what could I do from here? And then you find like the different things that you want to do from there. Like, okay, like, you have this sample. What do I do now? Like, do I want to change it? Do I want to start marketing it? Like, what do I do? And then from the sample, photo shoot, release. And then it kind of just goes multiple different ways from there. That's kind of how I did it. But when it comes to the actionable steps that people need to take, like I think when you find your mission, you got to be super, super passionate about it. It's really hard to be successful in the game if you're not passionate about it. It's really easy to start, but you won't be sustainable if you're not passionate about it. And I realized like there's a lot of people who create merch. I never call my stuff merch, and I never call my stuff like, I just don't call myself that, because I feel like it devalues like the brand a little bit. Like I always call it pieces. I'll always call it like I've crafted it. Like I'll never say, yo, I'm selling merch, buy the merch. Like absolutely not. Like I hate that, but you have to like give yourself some like, the credibility comes into the branding. The credibility comes in the person that you are. And it's very important to build that personal brand first before you create that brand. And when people see the personal brand and I see that you're all like, not that you're all over the place, but like it's very much centered around something, then everything comes really, really easy. So like it's a couple different ways to go about it, but you got to be passionate about something. And then you just go from there.
Wow, I love that. Such awesome, amazing advice. Thank you so much, Rhesa. It was a pleasure getting to know you and diving deep into your brain and all those things. I hope everyone enjoyed this interview, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Peace.
You're recording?
Yeah.
Whose phone is that? Is that mine? You can stop it. Like pay them loans. It's a reminder to pay my loans.